Look at any American cow standing in any American pasture, and you're looking at hundreds of years of decisions. Decisions ranchers made about which cow would thrive in their heat, which one would put on weight fastest, which one would raise a calf worth taking to market, which one would survive a winter that killed everything around it. Every breed we run today was somebody's answer to a problem, somebody's fix. And the American beef industry, the biggest, most productive beef industry on earth, wasn't built by one breed. It was built by five. 5 breeds, 5 problems, and the ranchers who wouldn't let go until they got the math right. This is the story of how they built the American cow. You have to go back nearly 1,000 years. Not to America, to the Simma Valley in the Bernese Oberland region of Switzerland. Alpine farmers there needed one animal that could do everything: give milk for cheese, provide beef for the table, pull a plow across mountain fields that no other draft animal could handle. In that environment, you couldn't afford a specialist. You needed a triple-purpose cow. By the Middle Ages, records go back to the 13th century. Swiss breeders had refined that cow into what they called the Simmental. Red or golden with white markings, massive by the standards of the day, and productive across all 3 jobs. By 1785, Simmental cattle were so valuable that the Swiss Parliament limited exports. There weren't enough of them to meet Switzerland's own needs. The first official herd book opened in 1806. By 1890, the Swiss Red and White Spotted Simmental Cattle Association was formalizing bloodlines. The Simmental didn't reach the United States in serious numbers until the late 1960s. But when it did, it brought something no purely American beef breed had: raw growth rate matched with milk. Simmental provide more combined weaning gain and milk yield than any other breed on the planet. Today, at roughly 40 to 60 million head worldwide, the Simmental is one of the top 2 most populated cattle breeds on Earth. And in America, it's a foundational cross for producers who want a calf that grows fast on a mother that milks. Nearly 1,000 years of refinement. And it's still working. In 1742, a farmer in Herefordshire, England, named Benjamin Tompkins, inherited 3 animals from his father's estate: a bull calf out of a cow named Silver, and 2 cows called Pigeon and Mottle. That's the beginning. Britain was industrializing. Cities were exploding. Factory workers needed protein, and the countryside needed a beef breed that could turn English grass into meat efficiently, on rough land, without a lot of babying. Tompkins set out to breed exactly that animal. His goals were plainly stated: economy in feeding, natural aptitude to grow and gain from grass, rustling ability, hardiness, early maturity, fertility. Every one of those traits is still what Hereford is known for today, nearly 300 years later. By the late 1700s, that distinctive white face and deep red body were locked in. Herefords crossed the Atlantic in 1817 when Kentucky statesman Henry Clay imported the first ones to the United States. But it was in the American West that the breed truly proved itself: thick red coat, handling brutal winters, white face resisting sun and pink eye, feet and legs holding up on rocky, rough country other breeds couldn't handle. The American Hereford Association was founded in 1881. By the early 20th century, Hereford was the dominant beef breed across the American range. Marketing? Yes. But the marketing worked because the cow worked. The Hereford was the first breed built specifically to convert grass into beef efficiently. That white face wasn't just recognizable, it meant something. By 1908, a rancher in South Texas named Ed C. Lassiter had a problem. His commercial herd was Hereford and Shorthorn, the 2 dominant beef breeds of the day. And in the heat and hardship of South Texas, they were struggling, losing weight in summer, dropping fertility, fighting off ticks and screwworm and disease. So Lassiter did something bold. He bought Brahman bulls, Bos indicus cattle out of India, animals built for tropical heat, and put them on his British breed cows. That was the start. When Ed died in 1930, his son Tom Lassiter took over, and Tom went further. Through the 1930s, Tom systematically crossed Brahman with Hereford, Brahman with Shorthorn, and combined the best of all 3. He wasn't chasing a color, he wasn't chasing a look, he was chasing 6 things, and only 6 things. What he called the 6 essentials: weight, conformation, milking ability, fertility, hardiness, disposition. He named the result Beef Master. In 1937, Tom Lassiter closed the herd. No outside genetics have entered the Beefmaster Foundation herd since, and in 1954, the USDA officially recognized Beefmaster as the first American composite breed, a purpose-built beef animal blended from 3 parent breeds, roughly 50% Brahman, 25% Hereford, and 25% Milking Shorthorn. 1 rancher, 1 problem, 3 breeds, 6 rules. Built in Texas, working today across the American South and around the world. In south-central France, in the rugged, rocky Limousin region, farmers had been raising a golden red cow for centuries. Cave paintings in nearby Lascaux, dated at roughly 20,000 years old, show animals strikingly similar to what would become the Limousin. For most of its history, Limousin was a draft animal. Historical accounts from the late 1600s describe Limousin oxen as universally esteemed as both beasts of burden and beef cattle. The first Limousin herd book opened in 1886, but America couldn't have them. For most of the 20th century, French cattle were banned from direct import to the United States because of foot and mouth disease in France. American ranchers, watching their herds get fatter and less efficient in the post-war era, knew Limousin's reputation: heavy muscling, high dressing percentage, excellent feed conversion, lean red meat, but they couldn't get their hands on the genetics. The workaround came in 1968. Canada agreed to accept French cattle, but only after a brutal 3-part quarantine, 3 months in France, 3 months on an island off Nova Scotia or in the Gulf of St. Lawrence, plus another 30 days on farm. Only then could semen ship into the U.S. The first Limousin bull, Prince Pompadour, cleared quarantine and arrived in Canada in November 1968. His semen reached American breeders in 1969, and the first permanent Limousin bulls didn't stand on U.S. soil until fall 1971, more than 80 years after Limousin had been recognized as a formal breed in France. That long wait paid off. Limousin arrived exactly when American consumers were turning against fatty beef and demanding leaner, higher-yield cuts. The breed's carcass performance was so strong that packers still call the crossbred version the butcher's animal, a breed France had refined for 1,000 years, kept out of America by disease policy for nearly a century. And when it finally arrived, it changed what American beef looked like. By the mid-20th century, American ranchers had 2 dominant British beef breeds: the Black Angus, with its unmatched marbling and reputation for quality beef, and the red and white-faced Hereford, with its hardiness, mothering ability, and grass efficiency. They were the 2 most popular beef breeds in America, and ranchers were tired of choosing. The answer wasn't a new breed, it was a cross. Breed an Angus bull to a Hereford cow, or the reverse, and every single first-generation calf comes out the same way. A solid black body from the Angus's dominant black gene, naturally polled, no horns, from Angus's dominant polled gene, and a white face from Hereford's dominant white face gene. They called it the Black Baldy, and the numbers on this cross are stunning. A University of Tennessee extension study, W471, by Professor F. David Kirkpatrick, documented it precisely. When Black Baldy cows raise Black Baldy calves, they produce 23.3% more pounds of calf weaned per cow exposed than straight-bred purebreds, 23.3%, from doing nothing more than crossing 2 breeds you already own. That's hybrid vigor, heterosis, in its most efficient American form. Angus contributes carcass quality and marbling. Hereford contributes longevity, fertility, and docility. And the first-generation cross captures 100% of the heterosis benefit. There's a reason a Nevada cattleman named Matt McKinney once said, "There's no better female than the F1 Baldy. She will work harder than any other cow." The Black Baldy isn't a breed. It's a mathematics equation, and it might be the single most efficient cow in the American beef industry. 5 breeds, 5 problems. 1 American herd, a Swiss Valley cow bred to do everything. An English breed that turned grass into beef. A Texas composite that survived what killed the others. A French breed that had to wait 80 years to cross the ocean. And a cross that solved the last argument by refusing to pick sides. Every cow standing in an American pasture today is standing on that history. On 1,000 years of decisions ranchers made, 1 problem at a time, until they got the math right. So we'll ask you, which of these 5 sits in your pasture right now, and which one made you into the rancher you are today? Drop it in the comments.